What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to you with a quick video. Today we're going to talk about Kawhi Leonard, and he's supposed to be coming back Tuesday against the Dallas Mavericks. We all have been waiting. He hasn't played since he got took out by Zaza Pachulia, and he's been out for months. Every GM and players thought that Kawhi Leonard had a huge chance of winning MVP this year. He's one of the most efficient players. He only averaged 1 to 2 turnovers a game. He's one of the best scorers in the game. One of the most diverse players. Can come off the dribble. Come off screens and shoot threes mid-range. Can score off the dribble. Threes in mid-range, can get to the paint, got hook shots, got floaters, can shoot free throws, can dunk, get out in transition. It's nothing that the man can't do. He even can do a post-up fadeaway, which he does every once in a while. And the guy has every single move that you want in an offensive player. Plus, he's still learning. The thing about Kawhi Leonard, that every single season that the man has played, he has gotten better. That's the scary part, because he's already a Finals MVP, and he already went to 2 Finals appearances, and he's not even 30 years old. And he has gotten better since then. And if he didn't get injured, you looking at a 6 or 7 game series against the Golden State Warriors where anybody can win the series. Obviously, Golden State has more talent, they have more upside, but the Spurs like to pass the ball, play defense, value every possession, and they make you take tough shots while they get easy shots like layups, dunk, and wide open threes and wide open mid range. So you have to work so hard to stop their offense, but they still get good looks anyway. And the Golden State Warriors does the same, but they have a higher ceiling because they have Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. So it's hard to beat that team in a 7 game series because they have the talent. But being honest, I thought I picked Kawhi Leonard to win MVP, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Can Kawhi Leonard, even though he missed the beginning of October, he missed the whole November, can Kawhi Leonard still have a case? And let's take it to an even further level. Can he win the MVP missing 1.5 months of basketball? First, I want to say Kawhi Leonard did get injured before, and he won a major award, which was Defensive Player of the Year. He missed a huge chunk of the season, and he was able to just come back as this scary defender where you can't even dribble around him. You can't pass the ball. If you blew past him, he was blocking it, and he just took over the Defensive Player of the Year. It was supposed to go to Marcus saw that they had Draymond Green, they had so many people, and Kawhi Leonard comes back and just, you couldn't dribble, you couldn't move around him. If you breathed with the ball, it was gone. And I never seen nothing like that since Jordan, Gary Payton, and Ron Artest. But he was probably even better because he wasn't as physical. They like to get up on you, they like to touch you and stuff. Kawhi Leonard was stealing the ball clean. He was giving you room, he was giving you space, and he'd still block your shot and still get a steal. And I never seen the defender be so clean and not physical. Like, even Draymond Green is a physical defender. He likes to get up in you. He likes to move you around. He likes to contest your dunks and the layups. Kawhi Leonard just did it finesse, and it was beautiful to watch, and I never really seen nothing like that. But he missed a huge chunk of that season and still won the Defensive Player of the Year, missing a big chunk of the season. And now we don't really know what to expect from Kawhi Leonard because the ankle injury had him sidelined, so he couldn't really do contact. Then he had the quad injury, so I don't know how much practice and scrimmages and what he was working on because he was injured during the whole summer. So I don't know if he had chances to add things to his game. And people always tell you that the NBA players don't practice as much as they used to. So if he's not getting those extra shots up in the gym, then he's not really getting that much better because he's injured. He can't really play. He can't really put weight on the ankle. Then he had the quad injury before preseason, so he didn't get the preseason action. Then he missed a whole month. So I don't know how good Kawhi Leonard going to be. I don't know what he did work on these last couple months, even if he even did. So that's a part of the story that realistically might hurt his chance at MVP. The other case that can hurt his chance at MVP, the San Antonio Spurs are 10 games over 500. So that's going to hurt his case that his team was able to be one of the best teams in the league, especially in the Western Conference. They're tied. I mean, they're the third best team in the Western Conference with an 18-8 record, only behind Golden State and the Houston Rockets. And that's without Kawhi Leonard. That's going to hurt his case for MVP because they were still able to dominate and be above 500 significantly without Kawhi Leonard, making his case even harder because they're going to say, well, if you take Kawhi Leonard off the team, like everybody always say, well, they still won 10 games above 500. So you have to be realistic. Even if you're a Spurs fan, you have to be real and unbiased. That's a hard case to sell. That if you take Kawhi Leonard off the team, they still was 10 games above 500 and almost 2 months into the season. That's not a good case for him. But the case I can make for him is how far can he take the team? And what I mean by that, how much of an impact can he have on this team currently constructed? If he comes back and they can get on the long winning streak, if he comes back and they become like the best defensive team in the league and one of the best offensive teams, if he can come back and have a dominant presence and you can just see that he took this team from being a good team, well, a great team, to a championship contender, even if they won 10 games over 500, if he takes them to that next level, they went from the third seed to number 1 or number 2. They went on these long winning streaks. They just became so dominant. It's hard to stop them. And he's the most important reason, and you have facts to back it up, that can make his case. Because when he came back and won Defensive Player of the Year, it was he got the second place votes, but people started saying, wow, this guy Kawhi Leonard is an unbelievable player defensively. And then he came back the next season and won Defensive Player of the Year. So it wasn't a fluke, because he was able to repeat the same performance for a second year, and then he came second last year in Defensive Player of the Year voting. So Kawhi Leonard can actually play defense, but that's the thing we're going to have to see. Can Kawhi Leonard actually put together a dominant season when he returns and impact the team and take them from a team that's going to come out of the first round to a team that can beat Golden State and Cleveland and Boston in a 7-game series, which I think they could have did last year. And we did see once Kawhi Leonard went down, they wasn't able to compete and contend with the Warriors, even though they did lose David Lee and Tony Parker in Kawhi. They lost a lot of players in the whole playoff run, but Kawhi was the biggest piece because even without Tony Parker, they still was up by 20 points. And then when he went down, the team never was the same. They never could recover. And if he can have that same effect going into this, I mean, coming back from this season, he can do that again and prove that the team needs him to be a contender, then he will have a huge case of winning MVP with the team success and putting up stats and staying efficient. That's hard to do. Kawhi Leonard is one of the only players to shoot over 36% and 50% from 3 and average over 20 points a game. Last year, he fell kind of short. He shot 48%, but that's higher than your best scorer. That's higher than Westbrook. That's higher than James Harden. That's higher than most of the scorers in the league. If you look at the top statistical scorers in the league, it's only KD and LeBron really shooting over 50%. And Kawhi Leonard obviously is one of those players too, including like Anthony Davis, but he's more of a big man. But I'm talking about perimeter players. Even though Anthony Davis, you can make an argument that he's a perimeter player too. But those are very few and far between people. You don't really see too many players shooting 50% in the league, especially for the whole 82 games. And that's something that he's able to do while still giving you 50% from the field. But you only really have LeBron and Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, and LaMarcus Aldridge shooting 50%. You have Klay Thompson shooting 50%, but he's not averaging, he's barely at 20 points. So, and he's not having the role that Kawhi Leonard has as a franchise guy, like Anthony Davis, LeBron, and KD, and Giannis. So, we'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think Kawhi Leonard can come back, dominate, and win MVP over James Harden, over LeBron James, Kevin Durant making the case? You have a case for Kyrie Irving because his team has held the #1 record since the first couple weeks in the NBA, and they've been able to hold it for another month in November, and it looked like they have a chance of holding it for another month in December. Obviously, there's other players that's going to join the MVP conversation before the year is over. But I honestly, we all thought Kawhi Leonard would win the MVP this year. He was playing with no other All-Star last year, no other All-NBA player last year, just like James Harden. But he was able to still help his team win 60 games. And they on pace to potentially win 60 this year, too. If they can come back and gel quick with Kawhi Leonard coming back to the roster, they have another chance of winning 60, which actually helps his case, too, being the MVP in this league. So let me know what you guys think. If you're on YouTube, check out my website at NollegePlayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Also, if you're on Facebook, check out my YouTube account, Basketball Analysis. It'll be pinned on Facebook, also on Twitter. Check out my YouTube and my website, NollegePlayground.com. Link will be in my Twitter, and it'll be on my banner for my Twitter account. And if you're on YouTube, check out my website, AnalysisPlayground.com, and my Facebook page, AnalysisPlayground.com, and like on Facebook. And that will be in the description in the comment section below on YouTube. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm gone. Let me know what you guys think about Kawhi Leonard, and can he win the MVP missing a month and a half of the season.